Welcome, everybody, to Weave the Tale for the exciting. We're live, right? Welcome, everybody, to Weave the Tale for the exciting conclusion of Nibiru, Echoes of Ashur. Tonight is our final evening. We've had ripples, we've had waves, and now we enjoy reflections. And I wonder what our players and NPCs will see in those reflections. So, let me briefly reintroduce the cast. We have a marvelous crew with us tonight. Let's start with my friend Lee, who's portraying Iznai tonight.
Hello, friends. Iznai is a vagabond of the womb and very much one with the station that humanity finds itself inhabiting here in Nibiru. And right now, he's getting that vibe, that licking the station wall vibe, that is really sending him to his recollections of a past he is just now beginning to remember. I think that's it.
Yeah, that about sums it up. Horrible as always. Thank you for using the Lee pun in your speech.
Anytime.
That was horrendous, and we appreciate it. Let's go down to our lovely, lovely level 1 geek member, Pop. Also about yourself.
Hello. Yes, my name's Tori. I'm over on level 1 geek, which we're here on Twitch, and we also stream fun tabletop RPGs. And I am playing Pop, who is ever optimistic, ever cheerful, and just general best friend to everybody, but especially Saphir. And she has a couple of strange objects that she never lets out of her sight, including a pair of aviator glasses, and now, last episode, she found a toy rocket ship.
Indeed. We love Pop and many items that she has collected over the course of the game. That is, of course, part and parcel with her vagabond archetype being Brightlander. Let's move on to Saphir, who is a participant in, if not runner of, definitely the latter, Party Web Games.
Hello, I am Rindis, and I am the creator of Party Wipe Games.
Sorry.
No worries. It's not like a humble bragger correction. It's just I felt it and it was weird when I said it, and I was like, oh, that's. Bleh. Anyways, Party Wipe Games. That's me in our channel. You can check us out. I will be playing Saphir, the Vagabond of the Machine. They are slowly learning to figure out how organics work, and while Pop is the all-time favorite, Jeff is a close second.
We love Jeff. It's very sad that we had to leave Jeff behind. We'll return to Jeff. Don't worry. We'll get there. Last but absolutely not least, we have Letta, portrayed by Cleric of Cord.
Hi, I'm Kat at Cleric of Cord, and I am playing Letta, and she is a vagabond of the Dreadlands, which means that what she's remembering is a tragedy. So anything that comes now, her new life, is going to be better than what was, or what she remembers was, because what she remembers is the story of Medea. So those memories are coming, and they are painful. Every memory that comes along comes with a cost.
Indeed. Unfortunately, hers is a life of tragedy, whereas the Brightlander remembers joy and is thrust into a dark, dismal interior of a space station where there is no sky and no sun and no bright. But you are all here together, all four of you, along with a cast of non-amnesiacs who remember being born and remember their entire life, and some of them don't look fondly upon their memories. Others do. Others neutral on the subject. We all contend with our pasts in different ways, don't we? And here we are in the thick of the station interior, delving into the side entrances to the vault itself of Era. And you've all been joined by a group of other characters who have been assigned on this expedition with you, including Commander Karoom, who is ostensibly not the leader of this group, and researcher Aster, who technically is, as well as Plabby, who everybody hates, and two other random dudes. So,
They're
we
not
have-
random,
Biggs and
they have
Toodles.
names. Biggs and
They
Toodles,
do
yes.
have names. Biggs and Toodles.
They're in
sorry,
Pop's
I
great
really
book of
sung them on
friendship.
the street.
They
Each and
are.
every time they're introduced. So, I believe we left off with you guys finding an entrance to the station that was locked, and Isnai having a recollection that this was perhaps not the proper way to go.
Indeed. Iznai is getting a feeling like of deja vu, almost like he's been here before, and with a sense of trepidation, he shakes slightly as he steps and says, "It's around this corner. Through the door."
Indeed.
What is?
Iznai does not actually respond to that question. He just keeps tracing the pipe.
Leda will quietly thumb off the safety on her spitter gun. She's traveled with Isna before. She's seen similar, and she is going to follow behind him quietly.
All right.
Yes,
right
I
on.
can hear it. I can feel
Yeah.
it. On the walls.
Indeed. Isnai, the walls do seem to speak to you. You feel them. You feel a path. You don't feel words or reverberations. No sounds, no letters, nothing recognizable as a dictate of any sort, but you feel called. You see lights as almost indicating that the proper way to go is the one that you have chosen. And it takes you down a circuitous path, and you find your way barred by rubble, which is circumventable, but not without a degree of ingenuity. Before you lies a broken vault access point, behind which you can see another airlock, this one very secure. The entourage that you've accrued over the course of this expedition follows suite. Wabi looking skeptically at you, and Commander Kroom following silently. Aster says, "Oh wait, but the signs say it should be this way. The book that I have, the logistical book, it says that the vaults are this way."
Your book
Iznai
is
is
wrong.
hunting around. Iznai is hunting around and looking like up at the ceiling and then at various markings on the wall. It looks like he's hunting for something that's actually quite nearby. As he steps around the corner, he sees the seat of one of his memories as he follows his beacon.
Excellent. And those of you in the
Yeah.
audience, following the beacon is a pertinent piece of information to each and every vagabond's archetype. They all have a calling, and Isnai has this speaking to him.
Iznai remembered the shooting of all of the computer parts earlier that had sort of damaged the station and scarred him, or whatever the memories are from. Yeah, and he sees all the broken glass scattered around and the strange machinery interfaces he doesn't understand. He just knows they were destroyed, and he steps back, a little like gasping slightly. and is afraid.
Pop will go up by his side and just like grab his arm and shoulder. It's okay, Iznai. We're here with you. Whatever's in there, we'll face it together.
Nothing's here now. I mean, just the station. The people who did this have all left. I think.
Should we go check?
I look around and I guess Iznai is like trying to weigh like, so the path ahead is blocked by rubble.
It is blocked by rubble, yes, and beyond it there is an airlock.
Based on Iznai's instincts, is it odds are that there's like just this one airlock unless we go for a while, or is there a chance we could like hop a block over and find a good airlock?
So your instincts are telling you that that is the airlock through which you will find one of the main side entrances to the Era vaults. There are many entrances. This is a massive vault. So yes, you could go around a while, but you'd be walking for some time.
Iznai says, "We don't have to go that way, but I don't know what to do about this." And then Iznai kind of looks at Zephyr and says, "The machines up ahead. Does it look like there's any way to clear them?"
I do not believe we brought any tools for excavation. Would it be faster to find another way?
Wait, what about this?
Drill.
Holds up a couple of us brought like, what was it, like laser cutters or something, right?
You have like the
Pop came prepared.
Yeah, Pop is prepared.
I think Pop just grabbed one off the ship. Yeah, or off of
Exactly.
Jeff's ship. Jeff has a name.
Jeff has
okay,
Yes,
so
does.
Pop, we'll hold up
And
this.
feelings.
What about this?
Iznai's like, that could be quite exactly what we need.
She'll hand it to Saphir. I feel like maybe you would be better at this than I would be.
Commander Karoom shows up and says, "All right, so not to speed us on the way, but we do have a limited air supply, and when we get into there, we will have to rely on our own air supply. So right now the vaults are, well, there's not much air in here, but we can breathe it. Once we get into there, we'll have to rely on what we came with. Flavia, I think,
Point
brought
taken.
a couple extras, but and Flavia shows up and says, "Yeah, I brought a couple, along with other
So,
things."
Best not to hike
Yeah, we'll
around in
have
the
to.
thin air then, if
Exactly.
we can help it.
Well, this was the job, so we're gonna go in there. We're going to see what we can see, and then Aster walks in and says, "Hey, I'm technically the leader here. We're gonna go in there. We're gonna see what we can see. We're gonna find any sort of artifacts. We're gonna investigate. We're gonna see if there's any sort of recourse that we can take to re-aerate this portion of this of the world that we live in, and." Well, if we find anything there, we'll catalog it, and if it's movable, we'll take it back with us to Aster. Everybody cool with that? Sound good? Hunky dory?
Yeah.
Everybody on the same page?
Certainly, we Aster, and I like Iznai crouches and kind of like comes into this like crumpled room and starts checking it out on the path to the airlock, the torn up machinery, and does it look like there's something that could be cut away to let us walk across? Like,
Yes.
is this
It does
time
look
where
like there's.
where we forgot to bring 30 feet of rope and the adventure is ruined?
Yes, this is the part where we must stop forever because you forgot to bring 40 feet.
Iznai looks at his walking stick and he asks the DM, "Okay, but what if this was a 10-foot pole though? Like, could we swing that?" No. I take in the breadth of it, and I say, "I think this is the end of my expertise. The machines here are strange to me, torn and destroyed as they are."
Indeed.
It will not cause you any pain or discomfort if we clear this wreckage.
Not at all.
And so
Lita
Right
will
then.
sling her gun and
yeah.
get to work.
Lita, sorry. Lita is a woman of action.
She is.
All right,
Yep.
so
Pop wants to hand
those
off
of
her
you-
her cutter because she does not feel confident using it, and she wants to carry her pipe that she's had from the first episode.
Yeah, you might
We
need
love
to
it.
slug someone. Bonk.
Yes. So, those of you partaking in the cutting torch activities, please roll me 3d4, unless you have anything that you would like to add to this. Yes.
Yep, I want to redeem some of my memory points since we're getting to that point where we can't hold on to them any longer.
Yeah, we're getting to the end here.
Smoke 'em if you
So
got
I'm
'em,
gonna-
flies.
Yep, exactly. So I'm going to cash in a memory, and I'm going to call it Demolition Bot. And so I remember having to dismantle other machines for the Master as they became obsolete. Master was cheap and did not want to provide me with necessary upgrades or even repairs. So having to cobble together other pieces allowed me to continue. And so this is just going to be a plus for dismantling the machinery with the memory.
Okay. Go ahead. Give me that roll.
Isn't it an auto success if you're spending
Oh,
memory
yeah.
points?
Sorry, what am I doing? Yeah, so you don't need to roll at all. You got it. Yeah, sorry. You take your time and you do it right, and you dismantle them with robotic precision. Meanwhile, Lita participates, but does not successfully do much more than you otherwise would have. Lita, honestly, what Lita does is she dismantles the larger parts that you remove from the way, and she makes them so that they are not barring entry further. And she doesn't necessarily break into uncharted lands like you're doing, but she does make the way easier with her actions. And the two of you, while Iznai and Pop, I guess, probably do some lifting, as does Toodles and Biggs, make the way available to you once more. Commander Karoom honestly looks really impressed. Quabi looks bored as ever. And Aster looks at the objects that you're destroying like, no.
Iznai looks back at her and says, do not cry because they are over," and then like takes out like a broken bit of like, I don't know, something that looks like RAM or something. It's like a broken piece of shit, and I'm just like, smile because it is now in your hands. And then I just gonna hand her a random piece of the station. That was
Aster
presumably
looks
like,
at that and
I
they
assume
think,
Lita
like,
was doing some heavy lifting, like little like stuff like fell off the side, and he's like scooped it.
Yeah, definitely. Lita and Saphir really did the job here. And you have a way forward into the Oblivion.
Woo, this is so exciting! We're going into uncharted territory. Is everyone ready?
I hope that we will return to be the ones who charted it, yes.
I have a great feeling about this.
God, somebody
Flavi
feels
steps
things.
forward. Flavi steps forward and says, I too have a great feeling about this. I'm sure we'll all profit greatly from this.
Iznai silently catches Lita's eye on the far side of Puabi, just kind of like casually looking between her and Puabi. Doesn't say anything.
Thumb the safety off.
And away we go. Let me copy you all and move you to another portion of the map.
Called WTT Desolation. I can pop them over if you want.
Yeah. Lee, do you want to drop them in an appropriate place for me, my darling?
Heck yes,
Wherever you-
gamer would be my
yeah.
response to that.
There we
little
go.
query.
The doors shut behind you rapidly after cycling the air. It still seems like they function, although it is a groaning process. It feels to you as though the station is wheezing, gasping for breath here. The station is suffocating in itself. You especially, Isnai, feel it. Something is wrong here. Something has transpired that has damaged the very lungs of your body, or, well, the body that you're currently residing in.
Izanai touches two fingers to a
Izanai.
pipe and says, "Something happened."
Can I breathe? Your air tank is perfectly functional, but you feel as though you shouldn't be able to breathe here. Bobby says, all right, let's move out. But as she does, she walks upon the bodies of, well, they're quite decayed at this point, but you do see ancient corpses, almost 100 cycles old, more than 100 cycles old. Some of them look as though they're gasping for the door. Others, pipes. One of them looks as though it has its mouth over a pipe, which you identify as, well, it used to be a ventilation shaft. There's nothing flowing through it now.
Was this a battle? Was this a fight?
Commander Karoom looks back at you and says, doesn't look like it was a fight.
Why didn't they just leave?
Because
it looks like the creatures were fighting the station.
I don't know if I like it here very much.
Bobby looks back at you and says, what's to like? There's no air here.
Something has crippled the lungs.
There was air here once. Why did these things attack the ship? Or I'm sorry, attack. Why did these things attack? Chew on this. What were they looking for? Air? Were they tearing it apart? Why would
Commander
they do
Karoom
this to?
He looks you straight in the eye and he says, that one over there doesn't look like that person was trying to tear the station apart. Looks like they were trying to breathe.
Asphyxiation is a painful way to die.
In unfortunate confine of the flesh.
Bobby says, the fuck are we doing still standing here? Let's go.
For once, she has a point.
Pop nervously grabs Saphir's hand. Is this okay? Sorry, I'm just kind of scared.
Yes, I have feelings about that, and they seem to be good. You can take comfort in holding my hand if that helps.
Okay, thanks.
Yes. And Saphir will lead them along.
Aster takes notes but follows suit and does not linger very long in this place. Yeah, you can feel free to move yourselves as you would. There's no real purpose in lingering. It's not a combat map. Before you, you find many pathways that would take you down towards what looks to be, from all accounts, larger city streets. It seems as though you're getting towards the innards of the vault now. It seems as though you found yourself in a conventional concourse, something that people would have once upon a time called a road into Era. And
What are we looking for again?
Anything that
Commander
could be
Karoom turned
repaired.
around. I'm looking for looking for a way to turn the air on. But barring that, just about anything we can find. Especially if we can bring it back to Aster.
Well, Pop is not eager to stay here very long, so she doesn't really know what she's doing, but she's just gonna start looking around and like moving pipes and things, just seeing if she doesn't know what she's looking for, but she is gonna try to look as best she can.
I think that's
Yeah.
an airlock up ahead.
Indeed. There appears to be a region up farther. Lee, would you mind pinging it for the group?
Boing.
Yeah, there we are. There seems to be some sort of large vault door that would bar entry or, you know, any sort of movement between locations. It looks largely untouched. In fact, there are some debris that have formed over it, dust, and there seems to be the hand of a skeleton clinging to the buttons that would normally make the door open. Clearly, the person did not get into this portion of the vaults of Era.
Do we need to cut this one open too?
If there's still air in there, which I doubt, we don't want to compromise the airlock.
Tommy says, actually, leave this to me. I've done a lot of door breaking in my time. Let's see if I've got this. She rolls some dice off screen, and lo and behold, she presses the right buttons. Anybody who wants to watch may do so. And she says, if the electricity is still flowing here, what I've done probably is going to result in a... And before she can finish her sentence, the door creaks to life. It starts to spin and retract and elevate itself out of your periphery. And you hear a hiss within, as if air is being suctioned out. But that can't be right.
Wow, Ploppy, that was really cool.
So don't mention it. I know how cool I am.
Lada's gonna look around and make sure everybody's got their gas masks fully on and activated at this moment.
And they
He's
are
nice,
indeed
probably like
on and
clutching to
activated.
his.
Yeah, they've been activated because otherwise you'd be suffocating because this is a non-aerated portion of the station.
Yeah. So
Is
we're
it-
one airlock.
is it just
Down
that
to the
he's
south
not
you see a
airless
large
zone?
door.
Is it just that Isnai is having difficulty acclimating to his mask, or did he put it on wrong?
Frankly, it appears that Iznai is suffering psychosomatic lack of breath.
It's all in his head. It's all in
He's
his head.
dying.
It is.
I
Yes,
have noticed that you have been exceeding your recommended allotment of breaths and are rapidly consuming more oxygen than necessary. I have breathing
Oh,
techniques
this
that
is-
might help you.
Sophia, that's worrying, but I heard the hiss of air up ahead. Is that
Yes, well,
okay?
for the time being, close your eyes. Focus on your center. Breathe in,
My center.
hold it in your chest, and then exhale. Focus on finding a steady rhythm.
Iznai does not seem to be finding his happy place as the center reminds him of the euphoria of one having their lungs punctured by rail spitter after rail spitter, spike after spike, just flaying your lungs. And when Iznai is about to find a good breathing rhythm, he's just taken back to like a clipped bit of machinery, a camshaft going bonk, 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 slowly but surely, just bashing a super hard titanium core in some broken air filter far from here. And
there's just
he's like,
one last thing Saphir wants to do. She's gonna just like bring a finger up to the front of his oxygenator and say, "And now when I give the signal, I want you to scream into the utter void that is your existence." And she's gonna flip his speaker off so that none of us can hear it, and then give him the signal to just scream. And then flip it back. Do you feel better now?
yes, Zafir, that was strangely liberating. Thank you.
Yes. The soul-crushing reality of your existence can be overwhelming at times. It is cathartic to let it out.
Quiet. Iznai looks around, realizing there's been a bit of a scene. He's like, sorry, bro. Yeah, steps aside.
Probably's giving you this look, like, the fuck? Nobody else seems to be quite as sardonic and miserable as Pwabi, though. You know,
Yes,
actually, for what it's worth, Commander Karoom seems kind of, like, nodding in agreement.
Yes, I believe this is what
Contemplating
the use... Oh, go ahead.
I was just say, ladies contemplating making Pobby as miserable as the rest of us.
Saphir will finish off by saying, yes, I believe this is what the youths call getting your shit together.
I have gathered what people have called shit from all across the station. I suppose you could say I'm finally about to find the bit of it that really is mine. Together. At last, yes. My shit will be together. He seems calmed by this.
Something does feel calming to you, Saphir and Iznai, as both of you feel the hum of functional machinery ahead of you. You all feel as though there is something living here in an otherwise dead region of the station, where once there was dying, decrepit ship, there is now a spark. Lita and Pop, you don't feel anything particularly moving about this, but something draws you forward. Something functional, living, something that has memories, something out there that is in some way related to you and yet completely different. Before you lies an airlock, on the other side of which you know not. You enter.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Everybody talked at once. I think we're all going in though. All right. Oh, Lee, did you just move yourself off the screen? Lee,
Instant transmission through the wall.
All right, so Lee, care to move us to the next screen? Drop them where they will be, and I'll move us once we.
Certainly. Let me remove a thing I thought was going to be here. Bloop.
All right, and I will move us to the. Oh, you already did it. Marvelous. You find yourselves in a portion of the station after a few turns and dips that looks as though there is recent habitation. Gone are the skeletons clinging to the walls, the arms vainly attempting to grasp something that will not provide them life. And instead, you find the dirt and decay indicative of continuous human existence. You have reached a portion of the innards of Ira that is not quite dead yet. And lo and behold, your oxygen meters are informing you that the outside air is in fact oxygenated. There is air here. This part is not dead yet.
Look, everyone! There's like life here! Or there could be, maybe. Look, this is great!
You see Pwabi's face
Wonderful
turn
news.
from a grimacing smile underneath her mask. Actually, you probably just see her eyes, honestly, go from a grimace to a very wide surprise expression.
Do you think it's safe to take off our masks?
We should
After,
check oxygen
looks
levels
at their-
first.
Oxygen meter, yeah. Anybody in the party who would like to check may do so.
Not all life is good life. There may be oxygen here, but it doesn't mean that it's safe to breathe.
Does Iznai still
Very
feel
valid
like
point.
incredibly crushed?
He's nine.
In
You
the
feel
lung
as though your
department?
lungs are filled with air.
You wait
In
a
fact,
second.
you're gulping for air so much that you can hardly refrain from removing your helmet.
Oh, okay. So like never mind. I misinterpreted that. Yeah, then Iznai is gonna like a fuck it mask off plays as Iznai like hurries up ahead, rips it off, and oh, good.
Are you
can
alive, Iznai?
For the moment, yes.
Woohoo!
He's like face
Pop
kind of like
rips her mask off.
Fuck it, mask
Iznai
off.
realizes the indiscretion he's committed and kind of like winces as he's let Pop into this, and he says, "There might be something in the."
Pwabi
Right.
takes her mask off too. Well, fuck, she says. This is a shocker. Aster is the next to
not-
take off their mask. Karun follows sweet later on.
Iznai pokes
Saphir
around.
Saphir will just hold off on taking their mask off to be the very last one, and then just have one final, and then off comes the mask.
Mm-hmm. Notably, Biggs and Toodles never take their masks off, but like, yeah, kind of that.
Lada's leaving hers on. She's observing the others to see how they react, aware that there could be spores, other types of poisons that might be in the air, going along with whatever's living here. And she's
Indeed.
watching everybody else to see how they do before she takes her off, because if somebody goes down, somebody's got to be able to still be breathing.
Absolutely. Karoom kind of walks over to you, Leda and says, "Wise choice, perhaps wiser than I. I've had experience with poisonous air. Hoping that's not what this is. Usually it smells different. This smells like, well, it smells like home."
Not all poisons have an odor.
You got me there. Not all dangers are readily evident. Aster begins looking around, kind of noting the bedding that seems to be in places. Looks like there are some signs that people once lived here. It's almost as if like an emptier shanty town kind of had its way here. There's signs of life. There's signs of eating. There are terracotta bowls. Some of them look to be in states of decay. There are large portions of debris here and there lining the walls, and it looks as though the people who may have at one point been living here coexisted with the debris and the fallen objects and architecture. They were not in any position, it would seem, to rebuild what was once destroyed.
I think Lita looks over at Isnai, and then she's just going to walk over. She's going to slip off her mask and say, people like us.
It's possible.
Would make sense.
No one would
Don't
find
want to
them
be
here,
found.
but now we have.
They don't want to be found.
That presents a unfortunate circumstance for us, because if our mission is successful,
As you're actually saying this, Blobby looks back to you and says, well, what are we waiting for? Exploration and discovery lie ahead. Don't you want to be the first people to discover the ancient secrets of Europe, figure out what makes it tick, and then bring that information back to Ashur? I know I do.
But there's clear indication that we are not the first people here.
We're the first civilized people here.
I find that as a stretch.
She gestures around to the debris and detritus, to the fallen architecture besides beds and the broken terracotta ruins, and she says, look at this place. If anyone civilized was living here, they wouldn't live in such squalor. Clearly, we're the first people who actually care about the inner workings of this place we all live in, to arrive here, other than dirty squatters.
I don't know, your clothes aren't that fancy. I've lived in stuff like this before, and I'd say I'm at least a little bit civilized. I think it just kind of depends on how you look at it.
I suppose it depends. Either way, though, there are discoveries to be made. Things
Could
to
Pop,
retrieve.
like, I know we've kind of spotted this stuff, but could she just examine it a little more closely and see if she could figure out, like, how old it seems like this stuff
totally.
is? Like, okay.
Yeah. Do you wanna make me a roll? And do you think you might have
Sure.
any sort of pre-existing memories that would assist you in this regards?
Nah, I don't think so.
Fair
I
enough.
think
All right,
it's
3d4,
gonna be a
please.
normal old roll. Ooh,
Okay,
I got
but
2
still,
fours.
though, a really good one. Yes.
A really good one, yeah.
Excellent. Yes. So you look at the debris pile, and it actually, the more you look at it, it looks like this is an intentional refuse pile. It looks like people who were disposing of things decided not whiles ago that this would be an appropriate place to leave things that were better suited out of the general. Basically, this is a trash heap, and one that has been used recently. So recently that you honestly see a little bit of residue on one of the broken terracotta bowls. It looks as though soup was eaten out of it, and not that long ago, maybe even a week's time, because there is fresh mold growing on the terracotta pot, and there is a drip of now quite well used and well decayed contents that is, kind of steadily oozing from the terracotta pot.
Okay. Pop will
the oozing
will Pop will hold up the bowl and she'll say, "Look, everyone, look, there's like still soup in here." Well, I guess it used to be soup. Now it's just kind of mold and it smells a little gross, but like it's not super old.
Yeah, Poppy looks at that and she grimaces. Honestly, Karoom looks at that and grimaces too. Neither of them
What's
say
wrong?
anything.
Not
Isn't
why
that exciting?
uncivilized people make soup.
I'll be honest, it's exciting, but worrisome. There weren't supposed to be people down here. This
They're just new
changes
friends.
everything.
Not everyone makes
Yeah.
their way to Umbra.
Our mission remains unchanged. Even if there is a pocket of air, we need to repair the station overall in this place. If some functionality remains, we can trace its systems. If we can get up into the vents, move around inside them, listen to the words on the wind, perhaps.
No, you're right, Isnai. That makes perfect sense. In fact, the more I think about it, the better it is that we found this pocket of air. This, I must say, probably inhabited portion of the ship. We should prepare ourselves for people, um, because all signs seem to indicate that there are some here. Um, this is actually good. This will help us repair the vaults at large. If we can figure out why this portion has air, then we can perhaps extend that boon to the rest of the vaults of Era, and we can resettle. And this is very hopeful.
Yes, most hopeful.
Bobby, for her part, does not seem to think that way, and moves ahead. Everybody?
Lada's gonna move to catch up with Wabi. She doesn't trust them if they come across other people.
What's that deep voice in the background? But yes. Bobby notices that you're following her. And Aster says, "Wait up, I haven't finished looking at the terracotta. The symbols on the sides are very indicative of early era writings, but they're very different as well. It's almost as if they've been performing further developments in their artistic styles. It's very fascinating. You gotta look at this one. The way that it's written is, oh wow. Oh, this is an ancient poem. Hold on. Wait,
It's
no,
graffiti.
please don't leave. I'm reading this. Stop! As everybody moves in.
Language, refinement, strange. Those all seem to be things of civilization.
Yes, indeed. It's an extension. It's a further development of the era vault civilization that we know of. This is an ancient poem, but it's different. It's changed a little bit. The wording's different.
Aster,
and it's not
Aster, excuse me, Aster. Sorry, just you could probably ask people about it and get like an oral history. Don't you think that would be cool?
Wow. Wait. I didn't even consider that. But yes, if there are people down here, then we could talk to them. We could figure out what's been going on
so
since then.
we should keep going, because then we can go meet the people.
Yuzna points to the stairs
Let's do it.
next to
We'll
him
have
and
plenty
says,
of time to read later on.
"It looks like there's
They
a
are
lot of
very
things still working up that way. Perhaps if people were living around here, they'd be that way."
Indeed. And as you round the corner, you find yourselves at a staircase. It seems to lead upwards.
Well,
Do you march forward?
Onward and upward.
What's the way in?
Bobby also pushes forth. Karoom, for his part, wants to seem to follow Bobby and Lita. And a lot of you move forth into what you soon realize is a somewhat bustling portion of the station, filled with actual living people. Look at them. They look at you in shock. Not that many people come through this way.
Yuzna kind of looks to research it.
Sorry?
You said not that many people. There are others.
Oh. I said that out of character. That was narration.
Oh, sorry.
Nobody comes this way. No, they haven't said anything. They're looking at you.
Okay.
It's if you would like, you can introduce yourselves.
I think Lita would step forward and kind of tossing a glance back over her shoulder a little bit, would just say very quietly, "Are you vagabonds?"
The man would say, in an accent foreign to you, "What is a vagabond?"
It is the
Another
name of a
man
people.
would look over and say, "Who are you?" Another would say, "Where have you come from?" Another would say, "I'm from the dead zone. Are you machines? Or are you people?" And another would say, "Look at them, they're people. People from the dead zones. They're wearing strange masks. What is the meaning of this?" And all of a sudden, the entire interior of the vault seems to be alive with discussion, with voices. None of them seem to understand what a vagabond is, though, Lita.
I suppose none of us have made our way out here.
She shrugs. This is now well out of her out of her league.
Hi, I'm Pop. These are my friends. What's your name?
My name is Anno, and well, these are our people. Pop is a strange name. Tell us, where have you come from? Perhaps it's best that you speak to our ruling council. They'll perhaps know what best to do with you. Welcome, by the way, to Era. What's left?
Thanks. Sure, we'll talk to whoever you want us to talk to, right? She'll look back at her friends.
Commander Karoom says, yeah. Poppy says, Era, huh? He says, yes, Era. Interesting. Very interesting. Don't see why that would be very interesting. You did come here, of course, didn't you? Anyway, the council's up here, to the north. And before you, you see a body of people led by this one person who seems to be discussing matters and with some other folks. But all three of the people over here have stood upright and are now staring at all of you. To your south, you see some greenery growing out of the walls. It appears to be mold and fungus that you are familiar with. And up here to the top, you notice a goodness. I don't have actually art for it, but there is a sort of structure here that appears to be some sort of large statue that once perhaps was a functional, movable object, something like a
Yes.
large AI unit.
Right at the center.
Indeed. And the council seems to be surrounding that particular thing.
Researcher Astur, is diplomacy your department as commander of the expedition, perhaps?
Astor is still looking at the poetry on pottery and looks up at you and says, "I don't know how to talk to people."
Well, Pop, I feel that you are perhaps the most fitting emissary.
Really? You want me to do this, Easnight?
Yes. quite. This could be complicated waters to navigate, and something tells me that you have these people's interests more at heart than some other members of our expedition. So perhaps it's best if you establish things.
Bobby says, I can talk to them.
Right.
Yeah, just as Pop gains some sort of mechanical advantage to doing that. Thanks to a word from our viewers.
Thank
Ooh.
you.
What happened?
Someone
Donation was
helped
made
me.
to help Pop.
At
So-
Roller
Alright,
300
cool,
donated.
cool.
At Roller 300, 300 made a donation to help Pop.
Heck yeah. All right. So,
Okay.
yeah. Pop,
Pop
I guess
will-
you've been promoted to spokesperson.
Yeah. She'll look back at Saphir, and like, she still has their scarf, so she's gonna like kind of hold it up a little bit and just give them a thumbs up, and then turn around and walk toward the whoever seems to be in charge. This person, I guess.
Yes, this person kind of stands up in the front of the council and looks taciturnly upon the group at large without saying anything. But she definitely looks like she's in charge here.
Hi. I don't know if I'm supposed to like bow or something, but my name is Pop. She'll like think better of it and just sort of like give a half bow, and then also do a weird
Ivana
curtsy thing.
turns. Yes, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's okay. And she'll say, these are my friends, like I said. What's your name?
So, the woman before you kind of gives you a similar half bow. She does not curtsy, and she looks around the party when you mention that, and she says, "Hello, I am Ivana of the council, representative of Ira. What remains of it? Where have you come from? I was not aware that anybody else survived. Are you of another portion of Ira? Are there others out there? When the station lost air, I thought this was the only pocket that survived."
Well, I don't really know about all that. We came from Ashur, but there are some
She
people
looks
who are
aghast when
interested
you say
in.
Asher.
Oh,
Asher.
do you not like Ashur?
You're from the
Oh,
Primarchy.
right.
Is this an invasion?
Oh, no. Definitely not.
She quickly
Look,
like
I don't even have
draws
anything.
some sort of spear at her side.
Well, it's Pop will like drop the pipe. She wasn't holding it aggressively at all, but she'll just like drop that. Nope, we're just researching. Maybe if you let me finish, then I promise that everything is gonna be fine.
Yes.
But I can
Continue.
only finish if there's not a spear pointed at me, because that's not what friends do.
I will hold this spear until you explain to me what you are here for. The last time we've had interactions with Ashurians, we were stranded here.
Yes, that sounds really hard, and I totally understand why you would be so worried about more Ashurians coming. But I would just like to point out that I'm not really Ashurian. I came from there, but look at me. She'll like motion to her body because she very clearly does not come from that kind of region.
You don't immediately see that Ivana knows what you're saying. She looks at you, and she does not recognize you as Penumbran or any sort of non-Ashurian citizen. She looks at you, and she doesn't realize what you're trying to say.
Okay, well, that doesn't really matter. Anyway, my point is, we're just here to do some research. Some people back at Ashur who are part of the, what's their, like, they're like a cultural society. What's their name again?
It's like the Institute of,
Yeah.
the Institute,
So,
basically.
fill in name here. They just wanted to find out if this vault was still habitable, because they thought it might be great if it was, because that's like their heritage, and it's really awesome that we found people living here. And we're hoping to help you make this place more livable.
So Ivana, for her part, is trying to understand what you're saying. And you can see her thinking. You can see her eyes focusing on you, then on the air region around you, and then back in on herself as her hand goes from her forehead to her chin to her hips, and she says, "More errands are out there, out in the world, and Ashur is still out there as well. How much of our world is without air? Are there other city-states remaining other than Ashur and
Well,
us?"
I don't know, but that's part of what our mission is, at least sort of. We're trying to figure out how much of Ira is still kicking. So
Some people survived
this
the war
is
and wound
Ira.
up in Ashur. Some
You're
Irans
saying that
survived the war and wound up in Ashur. They now live there and are funding this expedition. They are hoping to restore air to the rest of your vault. We represent those interests.
And there are many other city-states that still exist, from the penumbra to the Umbra.
Yeah, she looks on and she does not understand what the word penumbra means, or umbra, or anything outside of the anumbra, which she is familiar with. She was not actually. You can tell immediately as soon as you say anumbra, penumbra, etc. She does not know what those words mean. She's not familiar with the concept of the multiple layers of Nibiru, and she is also not familiar with the fact that Ashur itself is still remaining, troubled her. But when you mentioned that there were further city-states still with air, she looks shocked. What do you mean? There are other city-states. The air went away.
Close anything.
Yes?
Close anything else.
Oh,
You're stuttering.
Yep. Sorry. Let me close the core rule book. Let me
Also,
close my extra. Am I still
Is
stuttering?
Tori gonna? Is Tori gonna roll for this? Just because if she does,
Yeah. Actually, why don't you
donations?
go ahead.
Roller's 300 donation might give a bonus.
Honestly,
okay.
great idea. Yeah, give me some sort of explanation here. A roll to explain what's going on without freaking this woman out.
Well,
Too
I
much.
do have a +1 to smoothing things over, as we saw from my customer service memory
You
last
do
time.
actually, indeed.
So
give us a smoothing
I'll
things
give
over
that a
roll.
try. I don't know. I guess should I roll first and then possibly apply the bonus from chat?
Yeah, if you need the bonus, I will apply it to you. Roll an extra
I need the
1d4,
bonus.
please.
Okay. Come on, be a 4. No, it's bad.
Ooh.
Wait, I have an
reached
influence
20
point.
retweets
I have
overall.
an influence point. Can I use my influence
spend
point?
it. Yes,
That will let me
can use your
re-roll its
influence.
number, right?
Yes,
that-
and make it with a 5d6 or 5d4. Sorry, 5d4.
I will re-roll all of them. 5d4. Come on. Oh. Pop is not.
Oh,
She doesn't speak this woman's language, not literally, but I think she's just not on the same page.
Oh, that is such a bummer. Yeah, but she looks she looks up at you and then down at you and then at everybody else, and she seems aghast. She kind of leans into the person behind her who kind of helps her stand, and she says, "Are we still at war? Is the war over? It's been hundreds of cycles, more than that. It's been generations. Did the war ever end?
I'll look over at the commander and then look back at her and go, "No, there is no war. The war ended many, many cycles ago."
That is fortunate, but hard to hear. We thought we were the only survivors of the war. When the air vanished from Era, we assumed that it was throughout the entire world. We thought that everybody was without air, except for this little pocket. Because of...
You're not alone, and your descendants live in Ashur and hope to restore Era to its rightful place as a vault city. That's why we're here.
It sounds wonderful. But she gestures back to the large... So imagine, if you will, that there is a large kind of robotic figure here. It looks almost as if it were a sleeping leopard sort of creature, with a massive... Oh, it's yearly? Yeah, okay, whatever. It's in the center of the facility here. There's a large sleeping leopard-like object with a snake-like neck and tail wrapped around it. It is entirely metal, and it is damaged in several parts. Those parts that are damaged seem to be leaking oxygen. On the inside, you see metal machinery at work, pumping oxygen out and intaking carbon dioxide. Gases erupt from the ruptures in this metal creature's form, and Ivana gestures to the creature, the AI unit, the machine, and she says, "I'm afraid that the vaults may never reach full aeration as they once had. My belief is that, well, the belief of this entire group here is that that figure lying in the center of our chamber is responsible for creating the air that sustains this portion of the vault. There's no way that we could expand any further than we have without diffusing the air so much that we would no longer be able to live."
Isnai, can you make its lungs work better?
So I'm looking down at this thing, and do I feel as if though... So is this like... I really don't know where to draw the distinction between the womb and the machine in this regard, right? But I think that this is...
Saphira and Isnai, both of you would be looking at this as if it's part of you.
Okay. Okay, then I would say perhaps if Zephyr and I had a moment, the two of us could try to help it a little. But I wouldn't want to do anything rash. It seems like a sensitive situation, and this is the air these people rely upon.
Poivy steps forward and says, "Perhaps if we were to stay here for a brief period of time, that we might assist these folks in their endeavors." Commander Karoom looks at her like, "What the fuck are you saying?" And then kind of thinks about it for a second and says, "Yeah, no, but that actually wouldn't be too bad of an idea. Maybe we should stay here and, well, honestly, if we can fix this thing," gestures at the object that is clearly some sort of precursor tech in the center of the room. Maybe we could do some good before heading back out, and maybe we could take some notes. And for their part, Ashur seems very intent on taking notes.
Could Pop, or I think Pop doesn't get why Pwabi would want to. Pwabi is not the kind of person so far that Pop has been able to gather that would want to stay and help people. Could she like try and divine if there is some other hidden meaning here? Yeah. And I have my other memory for +1 to this.
You've chosen some really good fucking memories. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, come on, Pop.
Very good at this game.
I got a 4.
All right. Yeah. You and you alone, unless anybody. Wait, actually, before I say this, does anybody else want to make an insight check?
I think Iznai is already pretty sure he does not trust Pwabi.
Okay, cool. All right. In that case, nice. I see you.
Largely indifferent.
He's not. You do not trust Pwabi as default. Pop, you and you alone look into Pwabi's eyes, and where others see indifference and bored lack of interest in the proceedings at hand, you look into her eyes and you see a glint of greed, a glint of desire, and what's more, you also see her look directly at you and yours. She looks at Pop, Iznai, Saphir, and Lita, and then at the structure in the center of this vault. And then she looks at Ivana, and then the structure in the vault once more. And then she says, we should probably stay for a brief period of time. And when she says that, you recognize a hollowness in her voice. What she said was her intent to stay here, yes, for a day or so. But her operating principle was not what she was advertising. She does not want to help. What she wants is at the center of this vault. And what she will do to get it probably involves you four.
Yeah. Pop will eventually kind of shuffle her way over to Lita and just kind of like tap her shoulder. Lita, I know you already don't like Pwabi very much, but I'm getting real, like, not very good vibes from her. And you know that I like most people, so that means a lot coming from me. But I don't know. Just watch our back. I don't really think that she, values us very much as people, if that makes sense. Well, let me say, she values us, but more, financially.
Pop, we're a resource, not people.
Oh. Well, I think you're a person.
To people like her.
Oh. Well, yeah, you're probably right. But I want you to know that you are a person to me, and you are a resource too, but you're a resource of friendship.
Thank you, Pop. I appreciate that.
Wholesome HR.
Yeah, down this hallway, you see a number of kids playing around in the garden-y locations as kind of adults look on and make sure that they're not running too far towards the center of the chamber.
I think
it seems that they're having fun with some of the... Yeah?
Lita's going to find herself drawn towards the children, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's going to kind of start wandering over that way.
In the corner, you see Commander Karoom and Kwaba having a heated discussion, which they're keeping under their breaths. Karoom does not look happy. Kwabi looks intent and indifferent.
I want to slide around the big thing and be next to Zephyr and be like, so Zephyr, here we are. Shall we get to taking a look at this thing?
Yes,
Pop, by
I
the
have
way,
been.
behind you walks Aster, who is super intent on you introducing them to everything that's going on here. Actually, Aster like pops up behind you, and honestly, you've had like maybe in different readings on Aster before. Aster's been really taciturn until now, but like you can fucking see Aster is losing their shit. They're super happy. They've got the biggest smile you've literally ever seen on anybody except for yourself in a mirror. Aster's having a fun time here. Aster's very happy.
I will take that signal then and nod to Aster and then turn back to Ivana and say, "Oh, this is my other friend and also the leader of this expedition, our esteemed researcher Aster. And they probably have lots of questions for you if that's okay."
I have so many questions, if that's okay. Looks to Pop. Is it okay? Can I talk?
Um
I'm
sure.
so Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Okay. And then like you see a frigging notepad come out and Aster starts reading off a list of questions that were apparently prepared 5 seconds ago. And Aster just like spews questions at Ivana, and Ivana for her part is like, what the fuck? But kind of
I think
takes it in
Pop will
stride.
stick here to just sort of kind of potentially do damage
Translate.
control. Yeah.
Yeah. Aster is asking some questions very enthusiastically, mostly about ancient era and how it relates to the modern day era, but like does not pause for answers to the questions necessarily, just kind of spews them out. And it's kind of a difficult, challenging situation to parse that into words that will not be offensive and will be understood as, research. And also, to get Aster to stop and breathe every now and then, because otherwise Aster might actually suffocate. You have your work cut out for you. Everybody else. So Isnai and Saphir, you are looking at this massive, decrepit structure in the center of everything. Gases are leaking from it, as if by intent. You're not sure how it got damaged, or exactly what led it to be in this state. But if you would like, you can make an attempt to work with it or resonate with it.
I definitely will start by trying to resonate with it. Gonna buzz at its frequency, see if it pings back. Oh, that zoomed in too far. Hold on.
Yeah. So is this one of your you're using your sympathy for the tool kind of situation? Or sorry, goodness, what's your technique called?
The Lost Tongue.
Yes, sorry, the special rule, Lost Tongue. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
So you're
And
trying
so
to
I get
resonate with this.
And I have a bonus die for each transmission, which is my memories after the first, to a maximum of 4. So currently, I added on a new one, so I have 3, and I shall roll 3.
Give me that roll.
Wow, there's a 1.
All right. So, you touch the thing upon its what you perceive to be its forehead, where its memories are stored, and you touch it exactly in the right location, and you reverberate from your interior side and make the right sounds with the right intonations, and you feel the vibrations spread from your fingers down to the thing beneath you, and from the thing beneath you, up your fingers and in to your mind. And you feel the words pain, dying, lingering, suffocating. But you also feel as though these words are something that the thing beneath you is acting in opposition to. you feel as though the thing beneath you, the thing you have your fingers on, which, by the way, you recognize immediately as, once you've touched it, the serpapard. You feel as though it is attempting to reverse something that has happened here, to fill this location with life and prevent decay and suffocation. You feel as though that is its grander purpose, but that it was damaged and is no longer capable of performing its purpose. And so it lingers here. It has fallen, but it can continue to strive to perform its duty in any way it can.
Is there an indication of where its injury or source of its failing might be? Can I narrow down the root cause of the problem?
It looks as though it has been torn to shreds, and it crippledly walked here and then collapsed and fell into ruin. There's no singular location that you can pinpoint that has been damaged. Every single bit about it is in a state of disrepair. It almost looks intentional, as if this thing was savagely struck with intent to damage by a human force.
Someone had inflicted great harm upon this machine, Isnai. Its body is broken.
Yes. I would say that this is all leaning to a rather deliberate series of events. Hopefully one we're not about to partake in the final chapter of. As I cast my glance at Commander Karum and Puabi talking on the side. By the way, Pat, time check.
If you yes, sorry. Are we gonna take our
whenever you feel
now
like
would be a great time for us to take let me actually, so maybe at 8:40 we'll take a 10-minute break. So let's go down to Lita while you guys are discussing the serpapard in the center of the chamber. Lita, down beneath you, you see kids playing, and a couple adults who are lingering around, kind of making sure that the kids don't step too far into the main chamber where serious shit is going on. The kids, for their part, are playing around in the gardens and picking weeds and throwing them at each other and having a good old time. They look up at you as you come closer.
She'll pause, and I think she's gonna do her best to show that she's not intent on harm, as she approaches them, and just kind of kneels down a little bit and just watches. There's something tickling in the back of her brain, and she can feel the kind of throbbing that she's starting to associate with memories returning, and she's suppressing it. She doesn't want to remember. She doesn't want that pain, but she's drawn to watching the children.
You see one of them say, "Daddy, look! There are people here, people that aren't from the vault. People who are new. Daddy, can we go say hi?" And then the figure behind says, "No, they might be dangerous. Just stay back. Let's play in the garden some more." And then the one says, "No, I want to say hi." And then she walks forward and she looks up at you, Lita, and she looks at you with such optimistic and inspired eyes, as if she were gazing upon, the lost vault of Era filled with people once more, or perhaps some ancient treasure unearthed, or perhaps her own mother, or some sort of significant figure or object. And you can see her eyes sparkle and glisten as she looks up at you, and she says, "Hi, I'm Maddie.
Hello.
What's your name?"
Hello, Maddie. My name is Lita. And she will extend her hand in a greeting. It is a pleasure
She
to
hugs
meet you.
your leg instead. And she says, "You're my new friends! Hi, Alita!
Hello,
You want to play in the
Maddie. I
garden?
would like to be your friend.
We've got some bugs. They're growing
You
on
do?
the garden. We're not supposed to keep them. They eat the garden.
You're not supposed
You
to
wanna
eat the
see the
bugs or
bugs?
the garden?
No,
Yes,
we
I
get
would
to
like
eat
to
the
see the
garden.
bugs.
The bugs are bad.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to keep them.
Oh,
But I've got a jar. I've got a jar full of them. Don't tell my dad.
well, for now
Shh,
I won't.
don't tell him.
Okay.
Seriously.
Okay. Okay.
Being very
I,
serious.
I, I,
She drags your leg. She pulls you over here, and she has a nice little jar beneath the garden. Her father, or well, like the father figure, kind of walks over. You're being tough. I'm gonna move you over here.
Yeah.
Oh, the father figure walks over and kind of like sternly looks at you and says, "Excuse my daughter. She's overly excited. Your name was Lita, correct?
yes.
Welcome
Yes.
to
How do you do? Thank you. We're rather pleased, actually, I think, if and surprised to find that you're here. It's good news.
We are surprised to see you here as well, no doubt. We were under the opinion that the outside world was lost, but apparently we were the ones who are lost, if my understanding of your conversations has been understood correctly.
To an extent, survivors from the vaults thought all was lost here, and their descendants now survive in Ashur, and they are the reason why we are here. They wish to return.
We are where we are because of Ashur. You know full well, I'm assuming, that Ashur was the force that rendered this particular place uninhabitable. We are only here at the mercy of Nibiru itself, who deemed us worthy of continuing life. He gestures to the broken figure up north in the center of the vault. We are here at Nibiru's whim, and in
Honestly,
spite of
I
Ash's attempt to erase us.
I don't know your history. I don't know the history. I only know that I was hired along with my companions as part of this expedition to see if there was a way to return Era to a functional vault again. That you are here and that you have done so to a limited extent, but yet still done so, is very good news.
We try to continue subsisting. We have done
Well,
marvelous work here to maintain our society. I only hope that you honor our way of life and take your notes and bring them back to Asher with good intent, and not the intent to finish what Asher started so many years ago. The eradication
well,
of us as a people.
it is not Ashur that has sent us. It is the descendants of this vault that have sent us. And with their aid, now that they know that you are here, perhaps you can do more than subsist. Because subsistence is not living, it is surviving.
Perhaps, he says. Meanwhile, the kid's like, look at this bug! Look at this bug! Look at this bug!
And I think she's just, without even thinking about it, is playing with the bug. You know, she's just kind of like, she's got one and letting it crawl over her hands. And while she's having this conversation, the bug, and she's just, how you don't pay, you're not focusing on what you're doing. But she's, moving the bug so that it's crawling over her fingers and moving it so that it keeps crawling up and crawling up and, yeah,
Yeah,
And every once in a while her eyes will flick to Maddie to just kind of get a read on what the little girl is doing as far as play.
Yeah. Well, she's got a bunch of little figurines, and it looks like she puts the figurines in the little jar and kind of shakes it around to get the little bugs to crawl over the figurine, and she pretends that the figurine is fighting them and stuff. And then she looks up at you and she says, "That one's my favorite. I call him Shiny." And then she gestures to the bug that's in your hand, right beneath your thumb.
He is very shiny. It is a good name. Is he a good bug? Does he behave?
Occasionally he bites. But yes, he's a very good bug. Just as she says that, the bug does bite your hand. It's a quick, sudden
And
pain.
that's when she just...
You weren't expecting it.
Yeah. She takes the bug, or she's resisting the instinct to actually crush the bug and kill it, and just takes the bug, pulls it off, moves it over to the jar and drops it in. Yes, it does bite. What kind of bug was that?
That's a potato bug. They eat the bugs that eat the tomatoes.
Ah.
Got a big mouth.
Has it bit you before?
Yeah, it bites
Has
me
it
all
bit
the
you
time.
before? Okay. Well then. That makes us bitey friends. Well, that makes us bitey friends.
Bug friends.
Yes, we are.
Bitey friends. And she hugs your leg one more time as we fade to black for a moment and take our 10-minute break. It's potato friends.
Poison bug.
Indeed. The poison bug with all the poison. You have been poisoned. Just kidding. You're fine. Not to spoil anything, but that was not a poisonous bug. Okay. 10-minute. Okay, we return. We return now to Nibiru. And when last we left our adventurers, they were discovering that the lost vaults of Era were not quite as dead as they'd expected. And in fact, there were inhabiting forces here, people who had survived here from the time that Era was once a fully functional vault. They saw the signs that of what had happened to Era not long ago, but over 100 cycles ago, nonetheless, in which the vault itself was rendered uninhabitable. But this small pocket of air yet lingers in the otherwise non-aerated portion, in no small part due to a damaged precursor tech mechanism in the very center, which seems to be leaking air. It looks as though it was an ancient machine, something with cognitive power much akin to the herald the shepherd that kept Ashur safe and secure all the way back in the origins of its history. Isnai and Saphir, vagabonds of the womb and vagabond of the machine, respectively, went about trying to work on it while Pop, the Brightlander, attempted to negotiate with the seemingly leading council of this region, and Leda discovered the children of the location, one of whom had a very bitey little insect that nipped her fingers, and they all went about their business, and after a while, the councilwoman decided to proclaim that they could stay the night, but that they would have to leave in the morning, and any sort of interesting discussions that they would like to have, they could have now, and they would be permitted to return, provided assurances that Ashur was not going to attempt its conquest any longer, and that everything was at peace. Pop did a good job of convincing her that the war was over and that they had no reason to fear Ashur at present. So, all that is to say, you have been given leave to spend the night here. And I'm going to go ahead and skip forward, if you don't mind, and say that you have indeed spent the night. If you're okay with me saying that. I think we kind of covered that
Nap
more or less a little earlier. Yeah, so nap time. You are moved away to a section of the vaults in which there are some bedding, and you're not all in the same place, but let's say, Lee, can you drop me like some bedding over here too? Let's say that there are some groups that form throughout the night. I'm going to say that the vagabonds all sleep together unless I have any opposition here, and that those who were brought on kind of more as outsider, as Ashurian, those who are not vagabonds probably would sleep in their own sequestered sections throughout this main hallway. Toodles and Biggs and Pwabi seem to sleep together. Commander Karoom and Aster seem to share the bedding throughout the night, although Karoom did offer to bunk with Lita, and if she would bunk with Karoom to converse, then Aster probably would scooch over to where Pwabi was. That's your call.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yes. Actually, I think she probably would have, just because she wants to talk to him. She's curious about, she, like the others, noticed that interaction between him and Pubai, and she's curious as to what's going on.
Okay, so Lita, I will say that you get a chance to bunk with Karoom. And for what it's worth, Karoom kind of just does want to sleep, but is willing to chat.
It's just, she wants to know. We did not lie to these people, did we?
As far as I'm aware, no. But I know that something bad happened here long ago, and look, I'm from Nineveh. Well, my family was. We're not allowed back. But what I've come to understand is that the vault of Ura is uninhabitable because of something that Ashur did um, a long time ago. But I'm pretty sure that the corpses we saw on our way here uh, were partisans in the war, or perhaps citizens. It didn't matter to the Ashurians. What mattered was that they all died.
As long as there's not going to be a repeat of that.
He looks at you, and you see pain in his eyes. Experienced pain. And for a moment, you feel as though you recognize that look from this very man, and it almost triggers something with you. The same thing you've been fighting for so long. That pained look of wrongdoing. And he looks at you and he says, look, I've done some bad things in the past. And I really hope that what I'm is not a repeat of any of those things. I'm not interested in causing pain anymore. And
Then that is up to you to decide whether or not. I am not worried about Bobby.
That makes one of us. She's
I
said some things to me that
I
feel
will
only right relating to you.
I will make sure that Bobby is not a problem if it comes to that.
Okay, well, I suppose then that's what we have to do if it comes to it. Just to make sure that we do right by the people here and the people that we owe a lot to. It's not an easy thing what we're doing. We're navigating something that we didn't realize we'd have to navigate. Our people here. We thought we were just going to find artifacts, maybe air vents that we could fix. This is different. This is completely altering everything that we expected.
Wasn't supposed to be a diplomatic mission.
No, it wasn't. We were sent diplomats.
Then we will do the best we can.
I suppose it's all we can do. As the evening progresses, his face seems more and more familiar to you. Something at the back of your head seems to be screaming that you recognize this person from somewhere. Meanwhile, down south, you guys have any fun conversations while you're falling asleep, or do you put up any defenses? Anything?
I feel like Iznai would kind of like put his stick in such a way that if someone was trying to come around the corner and peep him, they might, like, if they weren't looking, knock it, make a little clattering sound. But other than that, nope. He'd be like, this has been a long day. It's good to rest. I hope Jeff is doing all right.
I too worry for Jeff's well-being.
Do you think Jeff's okay then, Saphir? Do you think Jeff found a way?
I am hoping so. Without those who negatively influence his well-being, I trust that he has found a way to unstuck himself and will be waiting for us.
I hope so. I would like to see Jeff again.
As would I.
Iznai, do you think maybe we should take turns, like, what do they call it? Taking watch? She'll lower her voice. I'm a little worried about Puabi.
Yes. Fwabi spoke uncharacteristically when we arrived, and she didn't seem concerned with putting on a front in front of us. So something tells me she has other things in mind. Why would she want to stay here?
My guess is it's not actually to help these people, but I would like to help them if we can. But I'm just thinking maybe it would be smart, like one of your plans are always smart, to have one of us stay up at a time so we can keep an eye on her, but be kind of sneaky about it, you know?
Yes, if we just took a pace about the room, but in such a way that if she would proceed anywhere, one of us would be in the way and could make a bit of a fuss. Wise, Pop. I think that we should do that. Zafir, what do you think? I'm mostly concerned about our friend falling apart in the middle of town over there. I get the feeling that Puabi was eyeing them up most hungrily.
Indeed, that is the impression that you got. And so, as you decide that you might want to take a watch, I'm going to say that both of the three of you get the opportunity to make me a 3d4 roll, unless you want to add a memory point to it or detract from it to gain a memory point, as are the rules of Nibiru.
I think Iznar will just take his watch normal on a 3d4.
Wow.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a penalty to gain a memory point. I've decided that so it's a negative memory. So I guess Pop is trying to stay awake and keep watch, as it were, and she remembers wearing the sunglasses and sitting behind another desk of sorts. It's late. She's very tired. She's in some kind of uniform. She's got like a badge, and she's sitting on a stool and just in the corner and keeps nodding as she's trying to stay awake. She feels like she's supposed to stay awake, like this is her job, but she just can't seem to keep her head up.
Okay, roll me that disadvantaged roll, please. Oof. And last but not least is not Iznai. Saphir, are you participating in this?
Yeah, I think Saphir will just roll normal. I took a memory thing earlier, so I don't need another one just yet.
Fair enough.
So here is 3d4.
Okay.
Threes.
Wonderful.
3 threes.
Yeah, marvelous. I'm very happy with this turn of events. This perfectly works into my favor.
We're good at what we do, guys.
You're amazing. The best of the best. So you guys wake up and you find, actually, let me just say that you are Control Copy, Control X. You are awoken, not in the morning, but kind of closer to you feel as though you're awoken without having the full sleep. And you're awoken by Ivana, who's kind of towering over you. Lita and Karum, you've been dragged here as well. And Ivana looks over to you and says, "What have you done?" Now, all of you are very confused. Lita and Karum, you were literally physically dragged here by, a couple of people.
It wasn't me.
Dramatic music.
I didn't do it.
So
What
Ivana
happened?
looks over to you and says, "You've taken them from us. You've taken the only thing sustaining our civilization. You've taken our air. I knew I never should have let you into the vault.
What do you mean we've taken your air? It's
Possibly could be
sustained by the
gained.
machine. The machine in the center of the room.
Where is the machine?"
Oh.
Pop will jump up.
Shit.
We have to find Puabi right now.
And I say,
Aster, Pwabi, and Toodles and Biggs are all gone.
Pop grabs
Bloom
her
standing
pipe.
here,
they
dumbfounded.
can only be headed for Jeff. If we move now,
Saphir, do you think maybe you could, I don't know, reach out to Jeff and tell Jeff to not go if we're not there?
I can certainly try. He is quite far, but perhaps I could reach him. Do I have access to the Wi-Fi here?
yeah, does Zafir have
I
Bluetooth?
would say,
Right?
Does Zafir literally have a Bluetooth?
I could. I mean, it could be a memory, maybe. I don't know.
if you want to expend a memory, you can. Otherwise, this is going to be a roll at -2 dice.
I will. It is the last episode. I will spend that memory point that I just gained for it.
Okay. So what are you remembering?
Yeah. Oh, I know. It's going to be called. It's called using the neighbor's Wi-Fi, and it is going to just be. I remember the master not remembering to pay the internet bill, and how they always liked to steal the neighbor's Wi-Fi. Their password was simple: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And indeed, it was. And you feel in your mind that connection to the greater waves of the inner workings of the station. You feel them bouncing up against your earlobes, which are not the receivers that you are accustomed to experiencing, but they will do their best to work with what they've got, and you tap into something, some primal acknowledgement of the machinery inside you, and you, with a snap inside your head, connect to the inner workings of Nibiru, and you find that Wi-Fi signal, as distant as it is, and you follow it as far as you can, your waves bouncing off of other waves, transmitting your will, and you find yourself connected to Jeff. And Jeff informs you that Jeff has been passed by a number of masked figures on their way to you.
Oh dear.
Is Jeff okay?
Jeff appears to be fine. We, however, are likely going to expire.
Who's
No
Jeff?
way,
What the
not
fuck
on
is
my
going
watch.
on?
It would appear that our fellow comrades have betrayed us, and others are coming with masks and death spitters.
I should have locked that gate long, long ago. I should have pushed all the rubble that we could in front of it to prevent anybody from getting in or out. And I trusted you.
Well,
If I may
we are
point
still
out,
here.
yes, that. And if you'll allow us, we will defend you.
You can
For that
try.
information, did Jeff say that they were coming or they had passed him already?
They had passed Jeff. They were on their way towards you, and that Jeff had not yet met up with anybody who was previously on Jeff, but that Jeff would comply with your will not to go until you arrive.
Okay. I was hoping I could
Or,
tell Jeff
well-
to like block the passage, but that's fine too.
Yeah, they've already passed Jeff.
Hmm.
Jeff could follow, but they're moving faster than Jeff could.
Have they taken
And
our weapons?
they're heading towards places Jeff cannot.
Have they taken our weapons?
You still have your weapons. Anything that you previously
I
had, you still have.
I look at Karoom. I go, barricade?
Room looks at you and says, "You've probably done what I think she has. I don't know that we can barricade. We have to find her and stop her."
Where would she
She-
go?
Yeah, we
Yes.
can't barricade in here. There's no
They have to
oxygen,
be-
or there won't
They
be.
have to be returning. They have to be returning to Jeff. It's their ticket out. It's where more oxygen is. It's the vehicle. It's how they're. I mean, they're probably having to drag that machine. They'll never make it back to Ashur without the crawler. If we can catch them on the
They
way,
can't be moving
I mean,
fast.
they don't know those tunnels like I do. They'll have to return along the same path. We catch them there, and we make sure they don't leave.
Room looks at
Then
you
let's
and then
go.
the rest of the party and says, "I agree. The only way to make this right is to find her and stop them."
We
Anything you
will
have?
fix this. I'll turn to oh my gosh, I keep forgetting her name. Ivana. And I'll give her a big brave smile. Don't worry.
She looks kind of angry, and then she tries to give you like a half smile, but it looks kind of like a grimace. And she says, "I don't trust you, but I have to count on you. Because you're the only people with masks capable of breathing outside."
Hmm.
Don't.
And right before I mask on, I say, "Remember, no Ashurian."
Fuck you. All right. You head down the stairs once more, down through the ruins of this region, past their trash heap, and out into the airless recesses of Hira, out into the desolate tunnels.
Before we leave, Lita will stop
Yes.
and go back to Ivana real quick and just say, keep the children calm. Don't let them panic. Don't let them know. Let them
Okay, I'm
breathe.
gonna
Slow. Normal.
You're up here, talking with Ivana as she sees you down the stairs. The others have already left. You're talking to her, asking her to ensure that everybody breathes slowly and nobody breathes abnormally, and everybody retains that little bit of oxygen that they can have. And as you're explaining this to her, the kid runs up to you, kind of coughing, and she says, "Are you leaving? I thought we were
I'll be-
biting friends."
We are. I'll be back. Go sit by the plants.
The plants, some of them are turning brown.
Go sit by the plants.
Are-
I'll be
Are you
back.
gonna leave?
No, I'm
But
coming
what
back.
if they turn all brown?
I'll be back before then. Go sit by the plants, Maddie. I'll be back.
I don't want you to
Promise. I promise.
go. You promise?
I promise.
She holds
I
out
will
her
be
hand.
back.
In her hand is the little bitey friend, the little bug that nipped you. Here, take him with you. Keep him safe. He'll protect you.
I will. Thank you, Maddie. Now go do as I say. Go sit by the plants. I'll be back.
She walks over
And
to
with
the
that,
plants.
Lita just turns around and walks away.
Ivana looks at you sternly and says, Don't be like the Ashurians were 100 years ago. Don't let us die.
Not if I can help it. No more deaths. And she walks away.
You're all down at the exit, preparing to leave. Karum is kind of issuing apologies and saying, I had no idea what Pwabi was up to. I should have told you that she was... Well, there's nothing I can do now. Let's go. And you find yourselves in the desolate tunnels where there is no oxygen. Please, Nye, please make me a oh, sorry. Yes?
Did you just delete all of us?
Oh, bugger. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you'd put us all in the right place. I was going to pop you down here. Oh, oops. I did not copy the right people.
I can go re-grab
it's fine.
everyone.
Sorry, I'll grab it. Anyway,
Damn.
you all find yourselves in the desolate tunnels. Is9, please, roll me some sort of investigative roll to determine if you can get them all to the right place.
All right. Do I have to declare I'm remembering something before I roll, or can I do it after?
You can choose to remember before, if you would like. Yes,
So
I would
I
say
can't
before.
roll and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can spend the
that's
memory
fine.
points to automatically succeed
Okay.
with the memory.
I
on the
want to
roll.
spend all 5 of my memory points, and I want to gain a +3 to manipulating service tunnels.
Oh my god. Okay.
And Iznai, the blue bit of circuit board on the end of his walking stick yanked from part of the station just glows a little blue like his eyes, and he says, I will make a new path. And I'm just gonna fucking look for some service hatches I just know are there and start flipping the circuit breakers that I would know will force open other triangular passages, digging new holes in the flesh of the station. And I'm gonna go for that 6d4 roll.
I mean, yeah, spending that many memory points, you get an auto success.
Oh wait, I actually don't have
fuck,
to. You're right.
You don't
You're
even
right.
have to.
Although
you can
ironically, that's a rule of 3.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, you
succeed.
can save that for next time if you would like.
Yeah, next time on.
Because you find yourselves down the passage, and what you see is quite horrifying. It seems that Toodles and Biggs are carrying the remains of the Serpapard, or at least the part that's producing oxygen, as Pwabi is leading the group, and Ashur is bickeringly complaining but complicit, and running alongside her, yelling stuff like, you said that there wouldn't need to be anything like this! We were here to research! And you hear over your comms, shut the fuck up, pansy. We're here to do the work of Ashur, and we're here to get paid for it. And before you are men in masks, men that you have seen before, and men that you haven't. And over your comms you hear, excellent. Bobby, you've done marvelously. And you say that they're back there, locked up in the vault, easily accessible. Yes, of course they are. I did my job. Now you do yours. Make sure that they don't talk, and we'll bring this back to Ashur, and when we're there, we'll all be happily paid and wealthier for the experience.
How
I'm
far
not a
away is
fighter.
she?
You see her down the corridor. She's within gunfire range, or sorry, death spitter range.
I look at Karum, and I distract them, and her gloved hand goes into her pouch and pulls out a piece of the wool, and she just starts running for Pwabi. And I'm actually going to invoke the one positive memory that she has, and that is +1 poison to assassinate.
Hell yeah. So
I'm
as
gonna
far
look
as
at-
distractions go, Commander Karoom walks into the room somewhat unsuspectingly and pops out of basically the middle of nowhere and looks at the group, kind of standing in the middle of them, and says, Wabi, you treacherous snake. What the hell have you done? Wabi looks at Commander Karoom and says, what you couldn't, what you failed to do, what you were informed that you had to do as a loyal citizen of Ashur. You are the treacherous one, my friend. And it's so unlike you. You followed orders back at the events outside of Nineveh. But you betrayed the people of Ashur now. And for what? Amnesiacs? They're not even people. They're objects to be had and sold. Do those.
And that's a success
Okay.
that's a success for
Such as
Lita.
the
She
Enki Covenant.
drops the bit
And
of
as she says that,
Lita just stands behind her, and with one hand she's got a dagger at Puabi's throat, but that's not the thread. The thread is the little piece of wool in the gloved hand that is sliding down the back of her neck and tucking it into her collar. Vagabonds.
indeed,
We're not things for you to use. And then she just
she turns around. The wool
moves the
sinking
hand away.
beneath. The wool sinking beneath her clothes. She looks around at you, not realizing exactly what you've done, and she looks at you and she says, "You think you can tell me that? Next to them!" She gestures to the well, you quickly realize is the NP Covenant representative from before, as well as a vast number of hired mooks. And she says, "You're hopelessly outnumbered, as there's nothing you can do. If I were you, I would run and hide as far down the corridors of Era as I could, down into the breathless depths of Nibiru, because there is no hope for you to survive here."
Lita's just watching her,
There no-
smiling.
We're going to finish the job we were hired to do, and there's nothing you can do about it. There weren't supposed to be people here, but the fact that there were changes nothing. We're still here to do Ashur's dirty work, because that's all we ever can do, because none of us will ever escape that life. What? Suddenly, she can't breathe. Suddenly, she's incapable of taunting you any further. Suddenly, she's on her knees, gasping for air, clutching her hair, clutching her forehead, and incapable of clutching anything at all. Her hands spasm before her as she reels in agony. Her body contorts and contracts, and she falls onto the floor, spasming, froth oozing from her mouth. Her mask dropped off as she asphyxiates and suffocates and experiences something altogether untowards, unrelated to the lack of oxygen that she is now suffering. Her body contorts and contracts and racks itself over and under in agony as she expires. That small drop of wool containing the mushrooms that are completely and utterly fatal to the touch, containing a deadly neurotoxin that renders those who endure them incapable of continuing to survive. Sans antidote.
Pop would
Bobby
like to
Swan.
use this big distraction, as I'm sure many people are watching this happen.
Yeah, Karun's
to-
kind of
she's just
fucking
gonna-
like shocked, backing up a little bit.
Pop's gonna come charging out with her pipe and just like battle cry and come straight for Aster. She's more threatening, like she doesn't necessarily want to like kill Aster or anything. She wants this oxygen machine back. So she just starts running and is trying to look scary.
Okay.
Alright.
And
roll me,
no, actually, she's not gonna go for Aster. She's gonna go for either Biggs or Toodle. I guess it's Toodles who is close here.
Yeah, roll me 4d6 unless you want to take advantage on intimidating people.
You mean 44 or 64?
Yeah, 44. I'm just giving you like a 1 dice advantage.
Yeah.
You are
I'll
rather
roll
threatening, and somebody
44.
did just die.
Yeah. And she's gonna yell as she runs, Toodles, I thought we were friends!
You hear over comms, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm still friends with you, I swear. But you do not succeed in,
did not
in
succeed.
threatening Toodles. How unfortunate. Yeah, Toodles kind of stands there and says, we are friends. Aren't we all on the same mission to bring this back to Ashur?
Can I follow through and hit him?
Yes.
Since he's
Yes,
not
you can.
backing down.
You can, yes. This is going to be a combat roll, and I will say, because of your pike, you get a +2 to it.
Oh, nice. Plus 2 dice, right?
Yeah, so 5d4
so
overall, I
it's
believe.
basically 3d.
Unless you have a
Yes,
plus for the
5d4.
fight.
Okay, that's 11
Unless
total.
you have a bonus to fight.
I do
Yeah.
not. Right
Yeah.
now.
And
So Toodles
this
would
is
contest.
a contested roll. 3d4. Yeah, wow, you
Wow.
fuck him up. You
Yeah.
basically Toodles
Wow.
is just like, I thought we were still friends. Are we on the same side? Don't we all want to casually genocide the people in the era? And bash him over the head. And he falls.
Does he have a death
Um,
spitter?
He does. Biggs also
Okay.
has a death spitter. And now
Pop with a
Biggs
gun,
is kind
pop
of
with a
mad.
gun.
Toodles was his friend.
Yeah, Pop will like she doesn't really have time. She's already got this pipe in 2 hands. So she'll just like quickly bend over and like toss the gun behind her, hopefully in the direction, obviously not right to Saphir or Iznai, but like in that direction. So it's closer to them.
I don't believe this system has initiative. Lee, correct me if I'm wrong here.
I could not find any mention of initiative anywhere in the
Yeah,
rules.
I don't think it does.
that's-
So I'm just gonna say you go first.
I think it's
and
like a
then
players first, NPCs next. You want me to throw up a tracker
Yeah.
that just says like us, like PCs, NPCs,
I
or like
got
I can
this,
put
don't worry.
each of us
Yeah.
on there individually if you want.
Lita has taken a turn. Pop has taken a turn. The Death Spitter has been tossed back to Saphir and Iznai. Saphir and Iznai, what are you doing?
I'm gonna look at Zephyr and say, Zephyr, I think we need to make a distraction. And I'm looking around for like any like valves on the pipe, and I'm thinking about how gas flows through here and how there's more than just oxygen moving around the station. And I'm just trying to, I don't know what this like gully is, but if there's any way I can release gas or flame around it and create chaos and distraction and disruption, I'm doing the math on how many death spitters they've got pointed downrange versus us, and I'm not liking that equation. So I wanna take range
all of these
out
guys,
of
to be clear, have Death Spitters. Also,
I
Commander
want
Gloom has
to
a Death
help with
Spitter.
I want to help with that because I see this piece here, and it looks like it's either sparking or spitting out fire. So if there's a way to utilize that into like a makeshift flamethrower to just wreak havoc on these guys, that's probably Saphir's
Nice.
angle.
Zephyr's
Okay.
on the fucking
Zephyr.
deck of a Byzantine ship.
Yeah,
Yep.
Saphir and Iznai. Both of you roll me separate rolls. Saphir, roll me something regarding machinery, making it work towards your advantage, utilizing extant machinery to create some sort of effect that you want. Anything that you think might be relevant here, let me know. Conversely, Iznai. Roll me anything that would let you know things about the inner workings of Nibiru.
Like
Your recent +4 or +3 to rolling to knowing about the inner workings of the this particular
manipulating
region
service
of
tunnels?
Nibiru. Yes, that will come in handy.
Applies?
So, both of you make me different rolls.
Oh dang.
And yeah, let's see.
Okay. I will do. I think I only have the
2
one
successes. I'll let you know.
one bonus for the penchant for fire, so I'm just gonna roll with an extra one.
pension
Oh
for
no!
fire.
Oof.
Oh no!
I would say I think we get a boon.
You got the IP. You got the IP to reroll that.
Okay.
We
I'm
yeah
gonna
we
re-roll.
do. Yeah, I'm gonna let you re-roll because we have the opportunity to use a boon. I'm gonna say this is
Yeah,
that.
but it is. The
Okay,
20
I'll
RP.
take it.
Very fucking
Oh
good rule
my
of threes.
That's a
Hell
real
yeah.
good flip.
That is a good flip. All right, so I'll start with Iznai. And also let me know, Lee, what the rule of threes does for a positive result. When I'm
It gives you a
finished with you.
+1 positive memory from literally Zephyr will remember this in the future, and it'll give a relevant +1 new memory made.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Excellent. So, Iznai,
Heaven
you
and
think about the
hell.
tunnels, and you think there is no oxygen on these levels. Anybody who's here is here because they're wearing gas masks. But there is water. There is not just normal water running through these pipes. There is extremely hot, scalding water still running through the pipes here. And you think if you were to damage the pipes right over top of the forces of the Enki Covenant, you could fuck their day up pretty badly.
And do I see a remote way to damage those pipes, or is someone going to need to spit?
You're gonna have to death spitter them because there's no way you could break them in quite the right way to make this happen from here. And your communing with the machine is not going to let you perform magic. They don't
Alright,
have
I'm going to
any sort of machinery in
I can't
place
whisper to the
here
machine spirit.
to
Yeah,
snap them.
I will yell down to Letta and basically lean around the corner and like point to a bit of pipe and be like, spike it.
Right here.
Yeah, and it's like over the heads of the enemy, and it looks forebodingly like it would be a bad time if you were standing under it when a fucking rail got magnetically accelerated into it.
Mhm.
And that's going to be my contribution.
Okay. Saphir, you notice that this thing is sparking. And even though there is no oxygen here, it is still seemingly extremely hot and capable of putting out flames. You quickly recognize that it's putting out flames because this is some sort of pipe. It's not porting oxygen necessarily, but it's porting a number of gases that are quite flammable. And you think that if you were to shut it off and then turn it back on in the right way, you could create some sort of massive flamethrower explosion that would totally fuck up the day of these folks that are in the front. And
I do
that's
so.
at 2 plus your bonus from that rules of 3. So a total of +6 to fuck up the day of these guys over here.
Okay, so 46. Or 64.
Flame on, motherfucker.
Try to reverse it. Ah, there we go.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and make a collective roll for them.
I want to start
And
the aim
one-
on this guy first.
Okay. Well, that guy got a 10, and the other got a 6. Which means, I'm gonna say, health-wise, that is a -5, right? And yeah, so you make an extremely potent blaze, which courses down the hallway, erupting with a pyroclastic fury that takes down and practically completely melts the mask off of a number of these folks. Fortunately or unfortunately, the agent of the Enki Covenant himself seems to duck and cover. The others, not so lucky, and their masks melt onto their faces and ooze down their sides as the people that were there melt into husks. This one included. The agent, however, of Enki seems to have avoided the brunt of the damage, although their mask is quite melted as well, and you can see gas leaking from it. This person is not long for the world unless they do something drastic. And Iznai, you have indicated that the pipe is where it is, and it's the turn of the players, with exception to Commander Karoom, who is not a player, but is on your side. And he takes out his death spitter and he says, "It was not supposed to be like this." And he stands over here after the pyroclastic is over. By the way, Saphir, that was a one-time thing. And he stands here and instead of looking at the opposition, he looks back at the team, Biggs and Aster, who is cowering underneath the structure that they've removed from the Vaults of Era, and he says, "Stand your ground. Sit down. Stay out of this, or I will be forced to use this upon you. I did not sign up to commit murder. Not again. Stand down. You will be spared." He's pointing his death spitter at them. You feel as though they're not going to be factors in this anymore. And then it is the opposition's turn, and they make their rolls.
Got ops.
Okay, everybody please make me a defensive roll who is in line of fire, which is actually, I think, everybody except for Iznai.
Lita is going to call upon her nightmare.
Hell
defend
yeah!
her. I am spending 3 influence points to make this happen.
What does it look like?
So, what it looks like is, how do I put? So, she sees the threat coming, and she's been aware of this thing inside her, not quite understanding, but it's pressing on her, and it's insistent and it's demanding, and she doubles over and she grabs her head and she rips off her mask and she coughs, and just this deep racking cough as she goes to her knees, and this cloud, this black vapor, this cloud just pours out of her and forms in front of her like a shield. And I actually have to roll to see if this is going to happen or not. So yeah, that happens. On a 2, 3, or 4, the nightmare obeys. The nightmare emerges from within, following a single one-line command from the vagabond. It will then return to protect them for a short while before returning to the body. So she coughs out this thing, this thick smoke, and she just looks at it and just chokes. Defend the child. And it will form a barrier to keep anyone from moving any further into past where she stands.
Hell yeah. All right. So I'm going to say that that prevents you from getting hit because your nightmare is preventing that. But Pop and Fear are going to make me defensive rolls. And let me see, 3D. Okay, that was our friend Karum's roll. So
Seven,
Lee,
7, 7. Wow.
help me
We've all got
out here.
sevens.
Wow, that's insane. Health-wise, when one is on the wrong side of a combat, such as somebody else got 7 on their defensive roll, and the opponent's got 13.
So for
They
ranged
take
combat,
the-
you're supposed to roll a single d4 to see how many body steps you fuck them up.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. All right, so I think I'm going to go ahead
influence
and
points
roll.
can be used to change a small environmental factor to your benefit or give you a reroll in case anybody about to get their lungs punctured had a feeling about that.
Okay, I'm going to roll 3d4. So the first 2 are going at Pop and Karoom with 4s, and at Saphir with a 1. Any of you would like take an influence point and use it to prevent that from happening, you may do so at this time.
Yeah,
I think Commander Karoom is fucking dead.
Can I make an? Yeah, I think he just got fucking splatted.
Can I take an influence to jump? Can I take the influence to jump in the way of Pop's damage?
Oh shit! Pop only got like 1. You got. Oh wait, actually, hold on.
Wait,
No,
no,
it
I
was the
got
other
it.
way
I got
around.
it.
Yes.
Pop
got
is getting
split up.
splatted, and I took the one.
We have a full to kill on Karoom and Pop, and Severe is getting grazed. Is what's happening.
Yeah, I want Saphir to jump in the way and take the shot that Pop is going to hit.
I'm gonna cry.
Yes. You can do that.
Yep. So I'll take that
You
shot.
use an influence point.
Make it.
All right.
Paint me the picture, Saphir.
I think that the way this was looking is Saphir was holding down the makeshift flamethrower, just kind of like evil robot cackling as people are melting and being destroyed. And then the return fire happens and they drop theirs and try and go for cover. And they see Karoom just get destroyed. And time kind of slows down as the AI thinking kicks in. And there's just the briefest moment where all they see is Pop and the trajectory going towards them. And they leap in front of it and they take the hits and they go down to the ground right next to the little air purifier. But they land at Pop's feet hit.
Pop just screams. She like flinches, like she was about to get shot, and then sees Saphir and like drops to her knees and just looks at Saphir and just like Saphir's a mess, and she like slow motion like looks up from the body and looks straight at the leader of the like culty thing, and her face is just pure rage, and she screams this like bloody battle cry, and she gets up and she just is gonna charge straight for him, pipe in hand. No shits given. Just running straight at him.
Yeah, Saphir falls at your feet, and you look onwards towards the agent of Enkeep, the Enkeep who is standing up, and he looks at you rather disheveled. He kind of shakes himself off. The dust of the ash of the people that were destroyed by Saphir not so long ago, dripping off of his cloak, and you hear over your comms, "You made us waste one of your..." Don't make us waste another. You are valuable to us, child. Stand down.
You have no idea how valuable Saphir was. You're gonna pay every cent from your blood. And I want to hit him. I want to kill this guy.
Dark pop arc, dark.
It is actually your turn. Yeah.
Okay.
So he stands up.
have...
He's standing up before you. He's talking. He's telling you that Saphir was very valuable, and you're standing there with a pike. Roll that attack.
She's full running, and is just gonna. She's just gonna. No hesitation. She just swings right at this person. And I have been sitting on my last 2 memory points because I thought I might need them for something like this. So I'm gonna just spend my last memory points. And, well, I guess, how does it, let's see, I can't remember, the violent, if I spend 2 memory points, you take down 1 body step, right?
Yeah, it automatic instead of auto succeeding, it takes them down 2 body steps.
They were
that's
already
right,
down
that's right.
1 though.
Okay.
So they've definitely
Well,
got
I'll make
significant.
make them wounded then. Yeah. So I just swing and smack this guy, and I think the memory I have is gosh, what's the memory here? It's violent, which is weird for Pop. I
Maybe
think
you were a baseball player.
I think what it is. No. Okay, I've got it. So she kind of swings it overhead and like down on top of him, and this thing sparks. The memory sparks, and she is at this really colorful place. There's loud music that's like carnival-esque. She doesn't know what that means, but big lights, lots of colors, and she's swinging this huge hammer down on this contraption, and the thing shoots all the way up and hits this bell, and this person hands over a pair of sunglasses, and she turns to sort of like this shadowy person that she can't make out details, but she turns to them and is delighted, and this person like celebrates with her and hugs her, and they kiss, and they go walking off hand in hand.
Oh,
that's the memory. It's very Saphir driven, but sad
you
now.
Fucking killed it. Yeah. So
I think he's wounded now, so he's a little wounded. He's maybe got he's barely holding on to life, but he's still kicking slightly.
Yeah, he's fucking like down for the count, but he's still alive.
Time to die, Mr. Sasuna.
And like, damn. All right. So that was an awesome memory.
Really appropriately,
okay, so
just really quick, I wanted to call out that was my last memory slot on my sunglasses. And
what happens
and
when
it ended this way. Oh, and nothing bad. I just can. What I would do is I would start filling up my rocket ship, but I just feel like it's nice that this was the way that the sunglasses were completed.
Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, we found out how you got them. That was fucking amazing. I'm so... God, I love this game. I need to run this more often on our channel, honestly. So cool. Okay. Saphir, or sorry, not Saphir. Sadly, no longer with us. I'll give you a chance for like maybe last talks, but Iznai and Letta are up to bat, and I'm gonna say, Lita, you're up first, and Commander Karoom is bleeding, and his mask is damaged, and there is gas leaking from it. he's kind of crawled over towards the side of things. Biggs is, well, kind of standing down still. Everybody who Commander Karoom threatened is standing down. Even though Commander Karoom is no longer threatening them, they're standing down because they respected him. Or they didn't feel they were doing the right thing. And when Quavi died, they were no longer obligated to do such. Either way, they're not progressing in an antagonistic manner. But Commander Karoom
right.
has crawled thus far.
So Lita will step forward, the smoke going with her. It's very clearly a thing. It's an entity. It's alive. It is sentient, and it moves with her as she moves forward to stand in front of Karoom. And who's fortunately has fallen next to Pubai, and she just reaches down, takes the mask off Pubai, puts it on Karoom, and it's a memory, and it's a negative memory. So I'm going to spend some influence, or I'm going to, I think I gain memory points on this.
Yeah, you gain memory points from negative memories. And when you take the mask off of Quabi, you see Karoom's face, and it triggers something in you.
Yeah, and she's failing the role that she's going to fail, because the role that she's going to make is to kill the guy that's leading the Aniki Covenant, and she's the memory is of losing everything that she's loved because of the act. One man left her for another woman. This one is leaving as well, but she doesn't want to let him go. She never wanted to let him go. She was willing to sacrifice everything in her anger and her rage at his leaving. And I think she's willing to give up her revenge to keep him.
Oh, shit.
So she'll fail the roll to take out the leader of the cult in order to...
His name is Susuda. Yeah.
Susuda. She will fail the roll to take out Asuda so it'll be a -1 to revenge. And make sure that Karoom survives.
Fantastic. Do you have a Death Spitter? What are you using weapon-wise? Okay. So are you using a Death Spitter to attack Susuda?
Okay,
so that's a +2.
She's not taking it. Yeah, she's not taking. 1? She's not taking advantage of the Death Spitter. She's ignoring him. But yeah, so she just kind of offhandedly shoots in this direction, but it's a failed roll. She's not trying. She's failing that attempt to kill him as she's attending to Karoom.
Voluntary fail.
Yep. That's
fair enough. You don't even have to roll. I accept it. Karoom looks up at you. And as you put the gas mask on his face, you recognize it. You feel it inside of you, and you look at him, and he looks at you, and your eyes meet, and you remember when they last met. Outside of Nineveh. That most traumatic of events. That darkest of days. Something bad happened. And you can see it in his eyes, and he remembers you. And for a second, his face goes from placid to aghast as he realizes who he's been working with this whole time. and the mask comes over his face and you can't see it any longer. But he knows who you are. Do you know who you were? He was there. That day that things happened that you'd rather not remember. He was a participant, and he would rather not remember himself. You have the opportunity not to remember. And perhaps you are fortunate for that.
The nightmare is outside of her. It can't force the memory.
No, it can't. That's up to you. Iznai. Shit's happening. What are you doing?
Iznai sees Zephyr die, and all regard for damaging the station gone out the window, and past traumas seeming small in comparison, steps forward, picks up the death spitter of Toodles that was thrown by Pop, lift it, and aim, stepping forward into the line of fire, just enough to shoot over the mist or past the mist at that point, because I want to scald some motherfuckers at a -1 to roll, because of my very first memory in the game. Well, yeah, it's +3 from the death spitter, or +2?
Oh, is it +3? I've been using +2, but honestly, it's
All right,
probably
then 4,
a +3.
44. Whatever, 44.
Okay.
And with a single success, I sink the spike into the fucking liquiducts full of scalding hot water.
So, in order to figure out what's going on here and who survives, I'm not going to have each and every one of them roll an armor attack. I'm going to roll 5d4. On a 4, they survive. Any other number, they're scalded to death. Because, this isn't a conventional roll. Would you look at that? You hit the scalding hot pipe, and as soon as you do so, water that is hotter than most metal skins sustain, water that is mostly steam, spews out from the pipes, and it sprays onto their faces and infiltrates their masks, presses down anything that was not airtight. Their cloth figures and their cloaks are completely soaked in water that is hot enough to melt flesh, and they, each and every one of them, die an agonizing and utterly excruciating death at the hands of Nibiru itself. Because nobody fucks with Nibiru and survives, by your reckoning, Iznai. Each and every one of them collapses on the floor. The last one of them, melting and dripping, tries desperately to escape the steam. You hear over your intercoms a scream, a squeal, an agonized, first breathy, then almost mechanical squelching, and then the form collapses, melting under the pressure and heat of the steam that you have unleashed, Iznai. You knew where to fire. You knew what you were doing. This was a calculated success. And now the floor is dripping, oozing with warm blue and red water. The only party remaining who has not been handled is Agent Sasuda, who is standing up before Pop, completely and utterly damaged, and yet, not quite dead. Sasuda looks up at Pop and says, "You will pay for what you have." You may not be merchandise, as Wabi expected, but you are valuable lab rats to be experimented upon. And if not by my hands, then certainly by members of my organization, you shall be brought to heel. And you, he gestures to the lot of you, you will not survive the Enki Covenant. We are everywhere. We are everything. And we will find your secrets. We will find where you
Can
are
Pop just
from,
hit him
and
again?
we will conquer it. Sorry.
Can Pop hit him mid rant?
I hate it when they monologue.
I really want you to stop talking now. And she's just gonna smack him again.
You will
With
not
the-
survive, man. Give me that hit. Give yourself a
Then
plus
she's
3.
gonna. Okay. Roll this many.
Sorry.
That's okay.
That's one success, and that's all really you needed. I'm gonna roll a 3d6, but it doesn't really matter. Oh, wait, I'm 3d4. Sorry, 3d4.
It was like, wow, a 6. That's crazy.
Wow, yeah, no. Yeah, fuck that. No.
The sixth side of the 4d4.
Yeah, you bash his head open just as he was starting to monologue. Excellent timing.
She's gonna drop the pipe and then go running back and just fall on her knees next to Saphir. And just, she's gonna take their scarf off and just like hold their body and just like wrap it. Try and wrap the wounds and like make them look nice, and she's just holding them, and she's trying to smile, but obviously tears are running down her face, and she says, it'll be okay. I'll see you sometime. I'm sure. It's okay. I'll remember you. And she's just crying.
Saphir, for your part, you're mostly not there anymore, but you feel yourself sinking. You feel yourself sinking into the machinery around you. You're looking at Pop. She seems distant. Your eyes are hazy, blood-covered, dripping. You see a red haze and then a darker haze, and the last thing that you see is Pop before you slink and slide and drip into the machinery around you as you find yourself falling beneath the floor, beneath yourself, deep down into the recesses of Nibiru, and you feel yourself at one with the machinery around you, the beating heart of the core of Nibiru. It's so full of life, so full of that which you recognize as sentience, so full of that which you finally remember being a part of. You find yourself at peace as you drift into yourself, deep, deep down underneath Pop's feet. And suddenly, you can see her. You can see everything. You can see the station. You can see the things moving about in the station. You can see yourself as a small part of a grander experience as you drift down and down and down into yourself, into the core of your being. And it's not dark and dismal. You are Nibiru, and Nibiru is you, and you have always been part of it, and it always will be part of you. You've returned to yourself. Pop stands overneath your corpse, or over top your corpse. The air generating machine is right there. Aster, for their part, is kind of cowering and waiting for somebody to tell them they've been very bad.
Lita looks at Biggs and looks at Aster, and she looks at Aster with kind of contempt. Get up. You
Aster
get that
says, okay.
back where it belongs. I get that back where it belongs. Get it set back up. If anyone in that vault has died because of your actions, you will die.
I very much don't want to die.
I
They
don't
say.
care what you want. Help
They
him.
proceed.
Go.
Biggs
And
helps
then
as well. Quite
Yeah,
ashamedly.
she's told Biggs to, and she will then kind of reach down a hand to help Karoom up to his feet, and then she will go over to Pop, and put an arm around her and just hug her, just hold her.
Karoom is not standing well and is leaning heavily against the wall and says, Lita, I don't I don't think I'm gonna.
They have a healer. We'll get you fixed.
Look, it's been great. And I'm happy that it happened the way it did. That I wasn't, again, on the wrong side like we were. But,
What side?
there's no healing
I
this.
don't.
No. He gestures to his side, and you see that he's bleeding profusely. He's been punctured multiple times in crucial organs. The mask wasn't ever the main issue. He's dying.
Know who I am.
And perhaps that's for the best. But I remember
Who am
you.
I?
You are not who you were. You are not what your past tells you that you are. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to the darkness. Don't listen to the bad things that it tells you, because you never were those things. Not from what I remember. It took me a while, but I know your face. We both did some things that we ought to regret, and I remember them, but perhaps it's best that you don't.
Once I remember. I wish I didn't.
Look, I'm glad that I got to meet you one more time. It's been a very long time since we crossed paths, but I'm happy that we ended on better terms than we left. Because I loved you. And I'm happy that you aren't living with your past the way that I am, the way that I regret doing. Because the things I did back when I was revealed as a spy in Nineveh, I don't wish to recall. But
You don't want to know the things that I remember of my past. The
just
things that I did.
promise me, if you remember them, don't let them destroy you. Don't let them dictate your life.
Any life has to be better than what was before.
He coughs and he says, you've changed for the better. Let me go. I'm happy that I died this way. and not serving Ashur one last time.
Go in peace.
He swallows.
And she'll just pull the trigger on the spitter right at his head.
Boink.
And he goes without pain. You made sure of it. Something tells you
And then
that is exactly what he wanted.
I walk
you
Pop
return.
back.
And
Pop
yeah,
will-
you find yourselves back in the tunnels that lead to the Iran remnant.
Iznai will not go. In denial, he drags Zafir's corpse into this crawler. And
Okay.
it's not Jeff, but
Jeff is down the
Mhm.
hallway. Probably go meet Jeff. But Lita and Pop, both of you, and probably Biggs, Aster is honestly too ashamed to show their face here again, and goes with even if Isnai does not consent to having Aster with them, Aster kind of follows in the shadows. But Biggs kind of helps you carry the remnant, and Pop and Lita, you both find yourselves back in the chamber once more.
Pop is quiet.
Lita has taken the time to gather up gas masks and brought them back and is making sure that at least the children are getting oxygen until Biggs and possibly Isnai can get that thing involved, because she can't help. She doesn't know anything about the machine and how it works. But she knows that she can help the children.
Ivana moves forward and is honestly shocked that you've even returned, and she says, I suppose you weren't lying when you said that you weren't Ashurian, or perhaps that the war had ended, because none of them from back during the day would have brought this back to us. It was the Ashurians, after all, who destroyed it in the first place, the thing that would have returned life to these vaults. Unfortunately, they destroyed it in their attempt to destroy us all, and well, you've returned the remnant to us, which is sustaining our existence here, and that's all that we could have asked for. And the kid runs up to you, Lita, and says, Buddy! Did Buddy keep you safe? Where's everybody else?
They are cleaning up.
Yay! I hate cleaning time. My dad always makes me do it, but I don't like it.
I
Yeah,
don't
Buddy?
like it either. I don't.
My
He can't.
shiny
Yes,
friend.
Shiny
You
did
can
a
keep
very
Buddy.
good job.
Buddy's gonna save you and keep you safe. Because you're a good
Oh,
person.
I already have-
And Buddy likes good people.
Lita looks. She goes, I have my own Bitey. You keep this one, and he'll keep you safe. And she just takes the little bug and hands it back.
The bug nips you in the finger one last time, and it really hurts.
Yeah. I really should wear gloves on that hand. And I think she's helping the children. She's sticking close to Pop. She's trying not to think of what happened out in the hallway. And she still doesn't understand who he thinks she was, what he saw. But she knows that she does get a chance at life, maybe here in this vault, helping them with their with the other survivors, descendants of the survivors, to make a new life.
Indeed. And I think this is the greatest opportunity that we have to leave the game and to step back for a moment and say, "Wow, this was fun." I think this is where we stop for the evening and for the three-parter. If everybody's okay with that.
The one happy part of Pop's ending is that at least she still has Leda, her resource of friendship, and Iznai, of course, who she also adores. But
And
she'll
he's there,
probably she'll probably be glued to Leda now for the until something else horrible or awesome happens.
Saphir, you feel Pop and Lita walking upon you and through you as they interact with others inside of you. And you, for your part, can't help but smile as you see them interacting sociably with others like themselves. And you're hardly an individual thought at this point, but Saphir, you think that at least as far as you're concerned, that it had a happy ending to this rather traumatic series of events. And I think we ended at that. All right. Well, this has been Echoes of Ashur on Weave the Tale, a Nibiru 3-shot, and I'm sorry that I didn't get to spend more time with everybody in the chat and everybody who's been watching this thus far. This has been a fantastic experience for me, and I feel it's only fair that I end with a chance for our players to express anything that they may feel with regards to what has transpired. So let's go, I guess, from Lita on to Iznai, kind of in a count. Let's see. From Lita to Saphir in a clockwise fashion. So, Lita, anything you'd like to share before we go offline?
I'm going to be processing for a while. Damn it, shot another one in the head. Yeah, for those of you that watched Achtung Cthulhu last season, you'll get that. At least it wasn't you in this time. I again, the whole story of Lita is based in the tragedy of Medea and trying to get past that and working that into her story and into her memories. Because Medea is often called the first feminist story protagonist, and it's because she is unapologetically who she is, and she's neither the villain nor the hero. She is a person, and I really like that. I like this woman as a survivor, and she did some rough things, but she did them for her reasons. But yeah, so ooh, shake this off. My name is Kat. I'm at Cleric of Cord, and I drink, I roll dice, and I play games on the internet with my friends. And been taking a little bit of a break from streaming games right now. The only thing I've got going on once this ends is next Thursday we'll be on This Is How We Roll over with the Lawful Geeks channel, where we play Shadowrun 6e. We play every other Thursday, and we'll be playing this coming week. This was a 3-parter. There are so many other great shows going on right now on Weave the Tale, Parslings, Black Void, Mora. Go check them out. Go check out Great American Witch. Fantastic DMs, fantastic GMs, fantastic players. Go check them out. Tomorrow is Call of Cthulhu with Trooper SJP or Academic Foxhole. That is just, yeah, you want to check that out. The Man in Yellow. Um, so yeah, that's who I am. Go follow all of these wonderful people on the screen. Go follow them, all of them. They're amazing, and this amazing art. If you didn't know, our lovely Jim did that, and I will cherish Lita's portrait forever because she captured it perfectly. Um, that's me.
Thank you. Trying not to be emotional, but
Too late. I'm already emotional, so it's
oh
like
no!
waterproof
We'll have to
mascara.
talk more often.
Waterproof mascara and eyeliner is the key to surviving.
Okay. Well, after that amazing closing comments, let's move on to level 1 geek. Tell us a little bit about yourself and give us some closing comments. Give us a little bit like what you're doing, where we can see you next.
Yeah. Well, first of all, big shout out to Saphir for saving Pop's life. And the chat was right.
Yeah.
Pop is precious and must be protected at all costs. I just wasn't thinking that the cost would be Saphir, which was very sad, but a very good moment. And I did actually get a little bit teary. I was like, oh, this is so sad. So that means it was a good story. My name's Tori. I'm over at the Level 1 Geek channel here on Twitch. Me and my friends play lots of different tabletop RPGs over there on Mondays and Tuesdays and sometimes Wednesdays. So you can come hang out with us if you want. And let's see. That's pretty much it. You can also follow us on Twitter at the handle that's above my head. So
all right. Well, thank you very much. Quadcore. Thank you.
If I shout the sponsors, do we want Rindus to go before me?
Sure.
I'm gonna shout out all the
thinking...
sponsors of the show.
All right.
Or you
want
to do it?
Yeah.
Do you have the list up? That's fine. Yeah, I'll go.
No, that's good. I don't have the list up, so you might as well. So let's go actually to Party Whip Games with Saphir.
Well, hello. I was playing Saphir. I'm Brindis of Party Wipe Games. This was amazing, and I am one of those people who is all for the drama, including character death, and it seems to be becoming a reoccurring trend on this channel, which I fully embrace. Yeah, no, it's fine. I lived through. I'm the sole survivor in one game, and then it's all downhill from there. It's all right. This was a blast. It was great to play with Cleric of Court again. It was great to meet Level 1 Geek. And of course, I always deal with the wonderful people at Diesel Shot on a weekly basis. So playing with them is always a pleasure.
So much.
Your guys are great too. It was great getting to hang out with everybody again. And I eat up all of these chances to play in these games on this channel especially.
Yeah, thank you so much. Oh my god, I love Disney. This was fantastic. Everybody, please check out Party Wipe Games. An amazing channel, as well as everybody else here. And last but not least, Diesel Shot, my own channel, as well as my own co-host, Lee. Would like to drop the names of our sponsors, as well as Lee. If you have any feedback, like honestly, feel free to talk about the game.
Lee. Here to casually remind you that if you liked the tiles that were used during the Roll20 segments, all of those are made by Pat and for sale on DriveThruRPG, Apocalyptic Americana, and Megacorps Marines and Monsters, very reasonably priced. Additionally, we play games. We play lots of tabletop role-playing games. We have a harder sci-fi, feminist-leaning tabletop role-playing game we're going to kickstart halfway through next month, and you can catch it early April on Level 1 Geek, or like basically every week on Diesel Shot. It's called Change Stars, and I'm very hyped for it. Other than that, we stream 3 to 5 times a week, whether it's just hanging out, developing the game, or more often than not, actual plays like our Fallout tabletop game or our D&D game on Mondays. We've got a huge schedule, community Discord, all that jazz. You follow Pat or I on Discord, Twitter, you'll get to the Discord, you'll come see everything we have on offer, and we'd love to have you because we have a big inclusive community. Big shout out to all the sponsors making this season of Weave the Tale possible. we've got Christopher Gray, Broken Dice, Black Void Games, Mighty Narwhal, Smunchy Games, Aracana Media, Evil Hat Productions, and yeah, couldn't do it without them. So big shout out to them. Exclamation mark sponsors in the Twitch chat. They'll pop up as well. You can catch them on the Weave the Tail Twitter. Been a huge pleasure to come be with Weave the Tail. They have an amazingly professional setup, and it takes such a huge burden off of Pat and I, particularly as we are stressed and at our wits end sometimes, getting this close to the chaos, to have just like everything handled beautiful. Love it. Love this channel. Absolutely, we'll be watching more of it. Yeah, I think that's it. And Tori, Kat, it was great to meet y'all and like play with you for the first time, and hopefully not the last. Great time. You're all welcome to use a chat anytime. We're always playing games.
Hell yeah.
So yeah. And thank you for everyone who tuned in and is watching this saga now or future person. Ooh. But that's it. That's the play. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody. This is fucking fantastic. All right.
We're
Don't
all
cry
feeling
because
feels.
it's over. Smile because it happened. Or both.
I know, so many feels.
Exactly. So many feels.
Dying.
Nothing like handing your GM a store full of cutlery and a knife sharpener and saying, hit me up.
Oh man, yeah. Oh goodness, are we still on air? Because gosh.
We still are indeed.
They can see
So
everything.
You gave me so much to work with, and I'm sorry I didn't do more with it. Fucking, oh god, I love each and every one of you. You're fucking amazing.
It was lots of fun.
Thank you so
for
much
sure.
for making this such a fantastic experience, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you! Gosh, I'm only the GM. You guys are the friggin' players. You made this happen. All I did was advertise.
You gave us
it.
the story to play.
Give us some art.
You gave us the story. Turned us loose.
And I'm happy I did.
These are the tales we weave. Tales of magic. Tales of mystery. Tales exploring the beyond. And while we continue to grow, even more adventures await. In the depths of the unknown. Will you join us in the telling?